Hello, I'm Bas Hamer from Possum Labs, and today I would like to talk to you about the difference between building your test framework on top of the core package versus the English package. The very short version of it is, if your language you want to write your tests in is English, and you are testing websites, you're probably better off building on top of the English package rather than the core package. The core package doesn't have any dependencies upon Selenium or anything like that. But of course, it doesn't have quite all of the things that you might want in there. So the easiest way to take a look at it is to take a look at what is in the English package. And we'll do that by just going to Visual Studio for the source solution. So this is the solution for PossumLabs.DSL. And if you look at the English package, this is the project for it. One of the things we see is that this has a dependency on, where are the dependencies? So you have a dependency on fluid assertions, which is an easy way to write your assertions. I like the way that the syntax works. You have Chrome WebDriver, SpecFlow, and you have this encoding, which I believe is part of what I need to make Selenium works, and we have a Selenium dependency that comes in through the web project. We also have dependency upon core, data generation, web, and Gherkin. So we have all of these different pieces that are showing up in this particular project. So that's quite a bit. So let's take a quick look at what is there in addition to the core stuff. So the biggest things are going to be the web project, which has all of the stuff that you need to interact with browsers. The other thing that you get when you use the English package is that it will dump in a bunch of files whenever you build your project for the first time. So these are the steps, a sample entity with an existing and a JSON file, and a sample feature file. It also dumps in an app settings file and a README that is displayed upon the running of the package. When you look at these guys, they are very minimal, and they primarily focus on, having the binding, so you can adjust the language for your binding, along with then a call through to this actual method. This is not compiled code that we're looking at right now. These are actually files that are being copied, so that's why the syntax highlighting looks weird. So here are the actual steps. They live in here for a unit testing perspective. And from here, we can actually go and take a look at it and say like, well, where's the actual implementation for this? And this will take us over to the PossumLabs.DSL, and this is inside of the DSL Gherkin project. And what we see in here, it calls the executor. So this is the error handling code, and then it uses the WebDriver to do its thing. Most of these steps are very short. Most of the time they do have these executor behaviors around it, which is just for the try-catch behavior that's built into the framework. But here you have kind of where this actual implementation lives. The other important thing is that you get a framework initialization file whenever you include English, and if you were to do it with the core version, you would have to write this yourself, or you can just copy paste the files that you actually want and strip it down to what you actually need. Again, these are all very basic. They're just trying to call different things. It provides you with the orders of different things. When we actually need to go to the implementation, then we go over here, go to definition. And again, now we are in the Gherkin project. In here, you have the actual implementation. And in here, you can find exactly what these different methods do. Now, the biggest method we have is the setup infrastructure, where we do all of the registration of the different components and tie things together. This, of course, has some things that are specific to the web. And if you don't have websites to test, then you don't need this stuff. So that's the things you would be getting rid of. So that's a brief overview as to the difference between depending upon core versus English. Core has the basics. It has the variable resolution code in it. It has the repositories in it. It has the code for entities in it. But it just really focused on the data aspect. The web project, which you do get when you use English, is the interaction with websites, and data generation just creates human-friendly, random-ish data. And then we have the Gherkin project, which has the implementation. So ideally, we'll support other languages than English in the future, but at this point, it's just English. Okay, thank you very much for your time, and hopefully this will make your decision easier as to which of these different packages to build upon. If you want something that's lightweight and you want to pick exactly what you want, use Core. If your native language is English and you are testing websites, English might be a great starting point for you. Thank you very much for your time.